Welcome to this month's Head Gardener's video log. I've just started at a point along Petry's pathway with a lovely view into the valley, just picking out some of those lovely foliage forms that you see at this time of the year. You've got the acers, they've got the cornus, and then that lovely sort of drape of bamboo behind. It really does show that adding these little picture window views into the garden really adds to the experience for our visitors. Our Hydrangea Valley at Trebah is a real star attraction from the summer months. As you can see, it's full of colour and will lead all the way through to the autumn and even through to Christmas. It's a lovely contrast against the Gunnera plantation further up and the exotic planting as you wander down through the garden. You've also got the added bonus of our wonderful private beach, which looks absolutely stunning with those beautiful views out of the mouth of the Helford Estuary. Hydrangeas come in many different shapes and forms, and this particular one, Hydrangea arborescens Annabelle, is rather delicate. It has these lovely creamy white flowers and the limey green foliage. It has a slightly more lax form and quite often be grown as a sort of hedge, which is rather nice. Another more unusual form of mop-head hydrangea is Hydrangea Ayesha. It's unusual in the sense that it doesn't tend to open fully, so these little petals are sort of reflexed, so they go back on themselves, so curved in. It has a lovely form to it, lovely deep blue, obviously with the acidity we have in the soil here, would change to obviously pink if you had alkaline soil, but it's a rather striking hydrangea nonetheless. As well as the wonderful flowers and the colour obviously at this time of year, they can also have some interesting stem colour, and this is Hydrangea Zorro with these lovely black stems. It's actually got two different forms of flower, so you've got the fertile and then the infertile. And you can see the sort of outer ring of infertile and then the fertile flowers in there which produce the seed. Interesting enough, just talking about seed, the hydrangea gets its name from, there's two sort of sections to the name hydrangea. So hydra meaning water, and the other section actually comes from the Greek meaning vessel, so a water vessel. So the seeds actually look like a water container. They obviously do like a lot of moisture as well. They prefer a reasonable amount of moisture, obviously not sitting in the wet, but that's just coincidence. It's not reason why they get the name hydrangea. Hydrangeas do vary quite a bit depending obviously on the acidity and the alkalinity of the soil. We have a slightly pH soil of about 6 here, so they do tend to hold on to the blues. If you want a really good deep blue, this is Hydrangea Enziandom. It's a really sort of gorgeous dark blue, really does hold its colour well and looks good all the way through the season. It also gets these lovely sort of antique hues as it goes through into the autumn, and it's a good one for cutting and drying as well. With our ever-changing climate, it's worth bearing in mind what variety or species of hydrangea you choose. This particular one is Hydrangea Quercifolia. It has these lovely oak-like leaves that get a lovely sort of autumn tinge as it changes as it moves through the season before the leaves drop. It has these lovely flowers which have a light scent as well, but it's very good at tolerating dry conditions. So hence on this very dry bank, it's quite happy sitting there, even in a sort of hot, dry summer. It's a North American hydrangea, so say very good at tolerating dry conditions. So another rather nice contrast on hydrangeas is sometimes you can get different variation in foliage and get sort of purple foliage, but this is Hydrangea Quadricolor. It's called that because of the different colours in the leaves. So there's actually 4 different colours of variation in this variegated leaf. It's also really nicely set off against these lovely lace cap flowers, which are rather pretty. This has to be one of the most dramatic Hydrangea paniculatas. This is Paniculata Limelight. It has these lovely limey green tight panicles of flowers that then colour up a lovely pinky colour as you move through into the autumn. It's a real stunner. One of the most dramatic bulbs you can get in your garden in the summer is Eucomis bicolor. It has this wonderful flower, very similar to a pineapple, hence the name pineapple lily. It's an absolute stunner and really worth a space if you have room in your garden. Gunnera manicata, or the giant rhubarb, is one of those great wonders of Trebah. Planted en masse in this area here with this lovely path which leads all the way through. It's wonderful to be able to enjoy the scale of these leaves and a little bit of shelter it gives from either the rain or the sun. And I think it's one of those plants as a child you remember as being huge, but when you come back as an adult, it's equally as huge as it was as you remember as a child. If you're looking for a summer flowering tree to give you a bit of colour out of season, the Hoheria are particularly good. Hoheria sexstylosa is one of my favourites. It naturalises around as well, but it has this wonderful display of white flowers at this time of year, set against that lovely silvery foliage. If you're looking for scent in the summer, you can't beat this particular climate. This is Trachelospermum jasminoides. It has these lovely jasmine-like scented flowers, really high scented. It's an evergreen as well, and it looks really tidy through the winter months, whereas a lot of sort of jasmines tend to get a bit scrappy. It also takes on these lovely sort of purpley hues if you get slightly colder weather. It does really well in our Cornish environment, thrives, and will cover a fence within a few years, so it really is a good plant for creating that dramatic effect. If you're looking for scent in the garden, this is a wonderful summer flowering shrub. This is Clethra arborea, although it looks more like a tree the way it's grown here, doing really well. It has these highly scented flowers, very much like Pyrrhus in its look, and this lovely foliage which is evergreen. So a real sort of bonus plant for the garden to give colour and interest at this time of the year.